Hey everybody, welcome to Baka-Talk. This is Ramen Cat. That's a Wheeze over there. That's a Boom over there. I got nothing else to say, so I'm gonna hand it off back to them. Here you go, guys.
I'm the Wheeze,
I'm the Boom.
and I can't believe you did an intro. That was incredible.
It was amazing. I was about to say something, and then he just
You
took
made
it
me
like
do
a show
voice
off.
acting, and I am on a roll tonight.
I did.
Well, that's it, guys. Bye.
Check
Yep,
out
bye.
that video coming out. This was just an ad for my YouTube channel.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right, Ramen Cat. What are we talking about tonight?
I honest to God have no idea because I haven't been able to access anime now for the last 4 days because I haven't been able to log into Crunchyroll.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like you can't like log in?
It just was looping and then it would clear out my password. Gotta re-put it back in.
Oh, did you
Rip.
reset your cookies?
No.
Oh, you just need to reset your cookies.
Okay. But I like my cookies.
Is
Wait,
it on-
are you trying to use the app or the browser?
The browser.
You have to reset your cookies.
Okay. I did, however, get caught up on, well, it will be a week late by the time this propaganda gets out onto the airwaves, the most recent Jujutsu Kaisen, and it was freaking amazing.
Oh yeah, with
Yeah.
Brick House Nanami.
Yeah. So we actually have 2 episodes we can talk about now, Boom, because last time you were the one behind.
I missed Seance, and now we're caught up. We have Seance and Dull Blade to
Yeah.
review.
Seance, as I think about it, was kind of a meh episode. The best part was actually no, never mind. The fight with the old, I don't know what his name, old
Well,
guy.
hang on a second. We're doing our overview. Don't
Are we doing
jump
our
right into the Jujutsu Kaisen.
Are you
stuff.
sure? Last
Get-
week you
hold
you
your
just Super
horses.
Saiyan Kami had the whole topic right at me.
Just okay. Well, that got deleted because we were fricked up and we didn't realize we're on different episodes.
Ah,
Anyways, Wheeze,
Yeah.
what are we talking about?
nothing
We
important.
have a jam-packed episode. You guys watched Jujutsu Kaisen, and I watched like 2 things.
What you watch?
I watched Goblin Slayer. I watched Spy Family. For
Wait.
anime. That's about
Is
it.
this the first time in like a year I've watched more anime
This
than both
is-
of you combined?
Yes,
You
this
were
is the
gone
first
half
time.
the work week.
You
Yeah, I
guys-
was sick for 2 days, so I watched like 15 anime.
Yeah, and I was working on my videos, so I didn't get as much watched.
Let's see. I watched. Let me pull it up here real quick.
Hentai.
Yes. No, I mean no. Take that back.
That would have made
let's
our
see.
ratings go up so much.
I watched. What is it called? Farron.
Farron.
At Journey's End. I watched Kingdoms of Ruin, Rise of the Shield Hero Season 3, Goblin Slayer Season 2, Spy X Family Season 2, Shy, Undead Unluck, as well as Jujutsu Kaisen.
I did watch the first episode of Shy today.
Yeah, that's right. You watched
Yeah.
Shy, and then you watched. You said Spy X Family.
Yep, I'm caught up on that and Goblin Slayer season 2 because I really like Goblin Slayer.
Sick. So I guess yeah. There's your preview, and now let's jump into the show.
Back to Ramen Cat and Jujutsu Kaisen,
Whoop. Bye.
and I get to go on my break.
Bye, Weeze.
Bring me
I'm
back,
back
coffee.
in an hour. So Ramen Cat,
Yeah.
what did you think of Seance? You said it's like Not
Okay,
good.
compared to this last episode, Seance was okay. I liked the fight with Yuji and Megumi fighting I don't know what his name was, the old guy. It was like an old sorcerer.
yeah. They didn't say his name, but it's basically an old
But
like
he had like this weird reverse, I don't know, kineticism technique where like the harder you hit him, the less he like got hurt.
what did they call it? They called it like negate or something like that.
Or reverse, I think it was.
Yeah, they called it reverse, where like the harder you hit him, the less powerful your move was.
Yeah, that was a great climax when Yuji figured it out, and he's just like full force goes to punch him, stops it, and just flick.
That was pretty cool.
Sends him flying.
That did like 2 things, like show like the growth of Yuji's like character and like skills. Like he was able to take a black flash punch, stop it, and then like basically reverse and just flick him.
Yeah,
Like that shows like how much like restraint and how much skill that he's gained throughout like just even the end of season 1 into season 2, which was pretty cool.
And then the fact that the end is saying, "I told you when the gun came back."
That actually caught me off guard. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting the grandson of the grandmother, the shapeshifter, to actually like change into Toji.
Yeah.
That was a surprise. And then at the end, when when Toji's body like overrules the grandson's soul.
Yeah, well, that was in Double Blade, but I mean that's Toji.
Yeah, that is Toji. I
But-
wonder if it has to do with like his heavenly like pact or not, because like his heavenly pact like enhances his body.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I expected him to come back. I thought they kind of killed him off awful quick in
Yeah.
the hidden inventory arc.
Well, I think it's also like a spoiler. Like they have him on volumes of the manga.
Yeah,
like,
so I
later
think he's
on,
going to
too.
be a consistent kind of antagonist throughout the rest of the show. I don't know. I haven't read the manga, but
Yeah.
I mean, I hope he is because he's like a super serious threat. Because really, Geto is kind of he's dangerous, but at the same time, all the stuff he just kind of haphazardly does.
Well, and right now it's not even really ghetto. It's a curse that's controlling his body.
Yeah, which I hope they elaborate more on that because that's kind of a weird
Yeah.
thing. They're like, huh, our villain needs to be more villainy.
I like how they're concentrating on the soul more because you have Toji and Geto, and both of them right now are technically not themselves, but different people.
Yeah.
And like when Geto first was revealed to be just the curse in the head, like his arm took control, like Geto's like
Yeah,
arm
and tried
took
to
control.
like choke himself.
Yeah, so that's interesting. They kept on referring back to like the souls and stuff. So I'm wondering if that's going to be a bigger play.
It might,
When
well,
we dive
yeah,
into the
because
system of curses.
actually it will because with like Yuji, if you remember back in season 1, his punches and stuff actually are super weak. But the problem is they touch the actual like soul
Yeah.
essence of like a target.
Yeah, that was like his cursed ability was able to like pinpoint his cursed energy more than others. I think it was.
Yeah. Which
But-
I am kind of curious as to why. And I mean, Yuji's not the main focus right now. The story's kind of all over the place. Of like, why haven't we seen Sukuna in a while?
Sukuna. Oh, the patchwork guy.
No, the curse that Yuji is carrying around.
Yeah, that's true. Like,
Although
I
he
feel
goes
like he's
quiet
planning
halfway
something.
through season 1.
He does, but I also feel like he's planning something.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like with the spirits trying to with whatever Volcano Head and the other curses are trying to do. I feel like he might be realizing that and maybe planning something on his end, but I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. Although we also got to see Nanami, the man of overtime working, just waste a sorcerer.
I feel like I was thinking about this. I feel like that fight was way one-sided.
Oh, it was. Because I don't care what villain you probably would have put in front of me, he probably would have killed them in that moment.
Yeah, that's true. If anything, actually, that was probably the perfect villain to put him against because at least we had more than 2 seconds of fight time.
Yeah.
But no, that was amazing. That's probably my favorite part of season 2 so far.
Of just Nanami just like face punching a sorcerer over and
Yeah,
over.
that was amazing. And I don't. Are you listening to it subbed or dubbed?
Sub.
Okay, I am too. Like his voice acting is amazing. Nanami, like it's
Yeah.
so good.
I don't know. I actually like this is one of the animes that I like both versions of it.
Yeah,
Like I really think who they picked for I don't know who it is, but like for Yuji's voice in the dub is actually really fitting for like his character.
yeah. I think I listened to some of season 1 dubbed. I don't remember. No, I was watching it as it came out, so I don't know if I've heard the dub of it yet.
No.
I know I watched Zero dubbed at one point,
Yeah.
and that was
Yep.
pretty good. I mean, I liked all the voice acting.
Gojo's voice was spot on.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out. Maybe when I do my watch through of season 1 again, I'll try watching it dubbed just to see what it's like.
I like it. Some of the line delivery is a little awkward just because of like the timing difference,
Yeah.
but outside of that, I mean, I liked it. So
Yeah. Overall, I'm enjoying this season. I'm gonna be really sad when they end it.
yeah, I'm hoping they hold out at least till Halloween because the event is taking place on Halloween. It's almost Halloween.
Maybe
That needs to be the season finale is around that time.
Oh, let's see. All right, so yeah, it looks like we only have 12 episodes of season 2. So if they're gonna do a full 24, we're gonna go way past.
They better
Halloween.
do 24 and 3 movies. all I expect that by the end of the year. That's my
Okay,
totally
it's
reasonable
Mappa,
request.
but that would be insane. Because what Mappa has, they must be working on Attack on Titan right now, right?
Yes.
Maybe.
It's almost finished. It's coming out in like a
You mean when
month
they're
or
doing
something.
part 10s, part 2 of part 3 to part
This is
10?
actually the very end of the show.
Sure it is.
Of the
Until they
series.
release half of it.
Until they release
And then
half of it, and then they're like,
next
then there's
year-
gonna be a movie for the last 3 chapters.
Well, the guy's also adding more chapters too, I think. So wait until they
Yeah.
do a movie to finish off the chapter.
Yeah.
Unless they just take what he's written for the chapters and make that the
I'm
actual ending.
Really curious how
I
the
thought
ending's
the
gonna
creator
be.
for Attack on Titan was dead.
No.
No, people wanted him dead.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's kind of funny because he's like, yeah, it didn't really turn out the way I wanted it to.
Man, talk about Mandela effect.
Yeah, kind of. But no, it's gonna be interesting to see what Attack on Titan does. But overall, Mappa's blown Jujutsu Kaisen out of the park.
Yeah. Didn't they also do Chainsaw Man?
Yes,
All right, we need more of that too.
Nappa's doing everything.
basically. Actually, I don't know what else currently they're doing. I haven't been paying attention to the studios.
Hurry up and help Bug Studios finish Psalm 100.
Why? I think their Bug Studios is making fun of Mappa, so
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Still, they need help.
alright, so anyways.
Wheeze, what do you got?
All right. So since I'm back from my break, I've got
Where's that coffee?
Goblin Slayer season 2.
That is definitely not coffee.
I
That's not
love
coffee.
Goblin Slayer. It's such a fun show.
So
Yeah,
you're
didn't
telling
you
us-
like episode 1 where there was no goblin slaying whatsoever?
Yeah, episode 1 wasn't the best.
Okay, you keep like saying. I've heard you say that all throughout the day. Is there usually goblin slaying in some episode, or like every episode?
Yes.
Yes.
Like just even if it's just randomly just one goblin.
Usually,
Basically,
so
yeah.
it's a dungeon crawl RPG adventure. So they just go through a dungeon and kill goblins. That's the show.
That actually
Most
sounds
of the
incredibly
characters-
boring.
Most of the characters don't have actual names. They're called elf, archer, dwarf,
Dwarf, shaman, the priestess, is just priestess.
goblin slayer. I think even the clerk lady doesn't even
Yeah,
have a
she's just
name.
like the clerk lady or whatever.
Like they don't have names. This feels like legit,
It-
like just a D&D campaign where the DM's just like, this is the store owner.
The world building is also that there's gods that roll dice to decide what happens in the world.
Right.
So it is-
Gods,
It is
roll dice.
it is very specifically a D&D game. The thing that makes so
Matt Mercer's face is just gonna pop out of the sky.
I also
Like
thought,
the Teletubbies, it's gonna be the sun.
I also thought that it sounded boring because that's all I heard about it was just
Yeah.
like God, they fight goblins. The interesting thing is the main character, who is kind of like a Mandalorian style of character where he's like very quiet and focused on his mission, and everything he does is just for that. But through this party that he goes on adventures with, he starts to like slowly change and open up more and stuff, so you get to see more about him. And that's the most interesting part.
Yeah, it was really interesting when he heard that the young mage character it was gonna go kill goblins by himself.
Yeah.
And like his first words out of his mouth is like, "You can't go kill goblins on yourself." And I was just like, "Wait a second, that's what you were doing.
Yeah.
You didn't want to join a party."
And then he also the end of the last episode where he hears that the kid's sister like got killed by goblins, and he was the one that like finished her off after she got poisoned
Yeah,
in the first episode. That was pretty cool. And then he just like sits there and kind of like mourns it. It was cool seeing him show emotion. But there's just a lot of like little subtle interesting things. Also, the way that they go through fighting goblins is really interesting because they always have like interesting strategies. It's not like they just walk in and kill everything. They're always like, there's traps here, there's a prisoner we have to rescue, there's all this stuff going on, and it's a good show. It's really fun for me to watch.
But there was no goblin killing.
There was no goblin killing. There was inferred goblin killing, but they never really went through it. Also, there's a beginning thing where they kind of showed flashbacks to them killing goblins. The next episode, they go through and fight goblins, and then there's a random like troll there too they have to fight.
I am really interested. I doubt they will. But like they explain the reason why like there's trolls and like beholders and stuff in goblin layers. Like in season 1, there's just a beholder.
Probably because goblins usually rally around a more powerful leader in most D&D stuff.
Yeah, I think that is the thing too, because they often will like serve another thing, be used by it.
That's true.
Also, it just kind of fits the narrative of inject random monster.
It's also cool that like another thing is goblins are really like not considered powerful enemies. They're really weak enemies, but Goblin Slayer knows how dangerous they are, and other people tend to not expect them to be. Mm-hmm. So he's always like super cautious, super prepared, and everyone around him is like, what's this weird guy that just kills like level 1 monsters?
Yeah.
And then they go and they get absolutely destroyed by goblins.
It is cool though that he's like actually taking, so like in season 2 it starts in the spring, so there's a bunch of new ventures and stuff signing up for the guild, and of course all of them want to go kill goblins, right? Because they think goblins are like the first level thing. He's like telling all these, like he's giving them all like words of advice, like mark your potions, like so that way you're not mixing them up, and like he's telling all of them, don't go kill goblins, go kill rats.
Yeah. It's like go fight rats in the sewers.
And that just sounds like if anybody's ever played the old text adventure games on like the internet or something like that, it definitely feels like a mentor type character just being like, you should not be in these woods, go to the sewers and go kill rats.
There's a lot of really cool subtlety to the show, because it's like he doesn't care about fighting other things. He'll kill them because he has to.
Yeah.
But like he loves killing goblins. It's just he hates them so much. They invaded his village when he was a kid, and I think they killed his sister. And so he just hates goblins and hates when they do things and capture
when
people.
They do goblin things.
They're also just like one of the worst monsters. But anyways, the second season is good. It's a different studio, and it looks different.
The art style threw me off for like the first 10 minutes.
So much brighter and more like cartoonish.
That's what I felt like. That's why episode 1 was so good. I mean, I'm just like, what am I watching?
Weird. They also, it's kind of an upgrade, is they don't have the CGI Goblin Slayer.
Yes.
Because in the original studio, they had a CGI Goblin Slayer, which they used for a lot of shots, mostly when he was moving or like background or anything. If some shots when he was close up, they would just do like a drawing of his helmet and stuff. But they used his CG version a lot, and it was noticeable. This version, they haven't. But the animation also is a little weird. It's not like super good, but it's not bad either. So it's just like
it's more like the isekai art style.
Yeah, it is. I looked up the studio, and that's pretty much what they
makes sense. But I mean, it fits. I mean, it.
Also, they made Berserk the bad Berserk,
the
they? CG one.
This is their redemption.
You're gonna get the walk away, just dun dun dun.
Well,
or the sound of the radiator falling down the stairway.
Yeah,
just the clank 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 clank.
The reason the CGI Berserk was so bad, because guess how much CGI they've done before this?
None. The Berserk.
They did Berserk. Yeah.
Congratulations, you played yourself. But no, I'm enjoying Goblin Slayer. I think my favorite animes this season is probably going to be Jujutsu Kaisen, if that counts. Goblin Slayer. Shy is up there. I'm really enjoying that story. And then Undead Unluck is like my number 5, I think. It's at 5, 4 or 5, whatever.
24.
I'll have to keep watching Shy, because the first episode was fine.
It gets interesting. It's definitely a slow crawl.
Yeah.
But like near the end of episode, I think it's 3. There's 3 episodes. So near the end of episode 3, you're just like, okay, this world is like going places that you actually want to check out. It kind of feels like a Madoka Magica type
I
of
do
thing.
like the idea of there's only like one hero per like country. Like it's a big deal if you're a hero, because a lot of times it's like, oh, there's a superhero. There's like 200 superheroes here, and there's like another 1,000 superheroes here, and then it's like being a superhero really isn't that cool anymore. It's just like half of the population's a superhero. So
I
it's
love
cool
how
seeing.
Weez says this like he's tried to be in the superhero business.
Yeah, modern day, there's just everyone's a superhero. All these stupid kids being like, I want to be a superhero when I grow up. And then they
Weez having
fall into a
flashbacks to
reactor.
Martian invasion.
And they fall into a reactor and they've got abilities. They open up black holes.
It is interesting though that I haven't seen obviously all the heroes, but what I can understand, none of the heroes are like broken
Yeah.
or busted. Like I think Shy has like fire powers, kind of.
Yeah, she's a lot of
Um,
them seem to just be like strength and then some other like weird thing that they can do.
See,
Yeah.
personal opinion, when you make superheroes and supervillains, durability and super strength, like not Superman level, but just ultra strong, should just be a base default. Like this is what
Most-
every character
That's
has.
kind of how they introduced these heroes. Like World War III was about to start, and then these heroes showed up, and they just the way they describe it in the opening credits is that they had superhuman strength. They didn't
Okay.
mention cool powers or anything like
Yeah.
that. So it very much seems like they're durable, and they just have super strength. But like each of them seems to have a unique power. Like the Russian girl can like do this
Yeah.
like cloud thing where she can like grab people with like a cloud type form or whatever.
Yeah. It's interesting.
I don't know. I like it. I don't know. I'm kind of a sucker for superhero things. So
Yeah.
if it's half decent and not like what Marvel's writing nowadays, I'll probably watch it.
Yeah. It seems kind of generic in the first episode, but it's also not. It also like
See, that's
has some interesting
that's
things
the
about
problem with most superhero stuff nowadays. It's not generic, and with superhero stuff, you can make it generic
Yeah.
and make it lovable.
it. And I feel
Yeah.
like that's kind of what it's doing because it also has interesting things like she catches. It feels grounded in some ways because of how she like. There's this part in the first episode where there's a roller coaster that malfunctions.
Yeah.
And she has to save them, and she saves them like one by one, really slowly. She just like jumps up, grabs the person, falls down, and has this like floating thing she does as she lands.
Got one.
Lets them go, jumps to the next one, and it's like really slow. And then the last person, she has to like catch the whole thing because it like flew off the rails because it was like upside down, and then it like fell backwards and it flew off the tracks. So she catches the thing, but it's like really hard impact. And then she's like runs up to the last person that's in there, and she's just like covered in blood, unconscious. And it's like, okay, this person, it wasn't just like the stupid superhero thing where they're like, Spider-Man swings through the city and catches
saves
this
them.
person.
Yeah, Spider-Man
And it's like,
stops the subway
that-
train without causing any
That
injury.
person
whatsoever.
would be super dead. So it's kind of interesting. It shows like,
Honestly, it reminded me of the scene from, you guys remember the original Incredibles? Where Mr.
yeah.
Incredible stops the train
Mm-hmm.
and like everybody on the train wants to sue him because like
Yeah.
he stopped a moving train, so they all got like broken limbs and
there's
bones
like
and stuff.
the suicidal guy that like jumps off the building and he like catches him and it like breaks his legs and stuff. And yeah.
Yeah, but no, it reminded me of that scene. And then the news articles started coming up where they're like, people are discussing like restrictions on superheroes. I'm like, oh my god, it's Anime Incredibles.
Yeah. Incredibles is such a good series. Well, it was such a good movie. The second one sucked.
Yeah, well, everybody wanted a second one. And then we got the second one we definitely did not deserve.
And then there was, yeah, it was like, what's with the mole guy? And then it was like Mind Slaver. It's like,
Yeah.
See, the thing was, the main Incredibles good was it just had a really good villain.
Yeah.
It did, yeah. It had a really good.
Well, it had
story.
that self-made villain.
Yeah.
It was so ahead of its time too. It feels
really
like
was.
like parody of modern day superhero stuff.
Like it did like the whole Ultron like theme
Yeah.
before Ultron was out type
Mhm.
of thing. Like it was pretty good. But yeah, no, Shy for what it is so far. It's definitely not going to be season anime of like the season or anime of the year or anything. I don't even know if they'll get any rewards, but like it's good. It's
Yeah.
not bad. I'm going to watch it and enjoy it.
There's not a ton of anime superhero stuff either.
Yeah,
so it's kinda
exactly.
cool.
So I'm excited for it.
Other than that, I've watched Spy Family, which is good. It's
Yeah.
Spy Family. If you like Spy Family, you'll like it.
I liked the first episode of season 2 way more than episode 2. Did I say it right? I said it wrong. I liked episode 1 of season 2 way more than episode 2. Just because I thought it was funny that they were all trying to make Yor feel better, and the only reason she was mad is because she got shot in the butt.
I mean, I'd be pretty
Yeah.
grumpy about that too, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, it's like she couldn't tell anybody because, of course, she's trying to hide that she's an assassin. But she gets done, like the first scene, she just kills this entire room of people. And one person, his last dying thing is he shoots her. She gets shot in the butt. So now her, like, obviously she is in pain, but she can't tell anybody. So everybody thinks she's just grumpy because they asked her to do too much stuff. So they're like, let's go on a date. Twilight's like, let's go on a date. She wants to go on the date, but she can't sit down. She can't do anything. So she just looks grumpy the whole day.
And then it ends with the waiter of the restaurant they go to was part of that gang. And he's like, I have to avenge my gang. So he makes a poison for her.
He just puts a bunch of
Blowfish.
blowfish poison into a cup. She drinks it. And since she's an assassin and is immune to poison, it makes her feel better.
Yeah, like
because it just makes her numb.
It it makes her numb, and then she feels great. And then Lloyd is like, okay, I did a good job. She's happy now. And then the next day, it's like
she feels even more.
The poison wore off, and she's like, yeah. The next episode was.
Doesn't he know she's an assassin?
No.
Oh,
that's the dynamic. Is like the daughter is a telepath.
Yep.
The parents don't know that. The father is an assassin, or not an assassin, is a spy that brought together the family to his mission.
Yep.
Nobody else knows that, well, besides for the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kid,
And
doesn't
then-
she know kind of everything that's going on?
Yeah, it's kind of, because she can read their minds, but she's only getting what they're thinking.
She's also kind of
Yeah.
dumb. So
She's like 3 or 4 years old.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So like she lied about her age. She lied like how smart she was and stuff. Like she uses her telepath stuff to kind of get around and do things that she shouldn't normally be able to do.
Yeah.
And then the wife, Yor, is a famous assassin, but she just kind of daylights as this city hall worker and just randomly meets up with Twilight and like is like the perfect match for him sort of thing. So
And then her brother is a like inquisitor for the opposite side that Lloyd is on.
Oh.
no,
And
he's secret police for
Yeah.
the side that he's infiltrated right now.
Yeah.
He's not on
He's
the same
not-
side as
Yeah, he's not on Lloyd's side. He's on the opposite side.
because Lloyd is part of a different. It's kind of like the Cold War Russian dynamic.
Yeah.
He's on, I guess, what we consider the U.S. side, kind of.
Yeah.
And like Yor and her brother and stuff are all from the Russian side,
Oh, okay.
and so he's part of the secret police.
Yeah. And so there's then Anya's classmate is this kid that she's supposed to become friends with so that her dad can get in contact with his dad and convince him to not start a war or kill him or
Because
something.
his dad, the kid's dad, is like a head up military official in the government.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he's like really powerful and like the person to be afraid of. And then their dog is part of this experiment thing where he can see into the future.
Yeah, the first part, episode 2, was pretty good, where he has this future of him dying because Yor's gonna feed him food and Yor sucks at cooking. So like she's gonna poison the dog accidentally. So the first part of the episode 2 is all about this dog trying to find Twilight to cook him dinner so that way he doesn't die.
And it was like he's half like seen into the future and half like worrying about what could happen because of what he sees in the
making it
future. So it's like he thinks he's gonna die in so many ways and just that was
And at
great.
the end of it, Lloyd or Twilight and the dog Bond end up teaming up together to fight this medical facility that's making a truth serum because Lloyd has to get the serum for his agency. So the dog teams up with him so that way he can get home in time to cook him dinner. It's like you talk about all the time that you like relaxed shows.
Mm-hmm.
It feels that way. It's a very relaxed show because it's very childish in some ways.
Yeah. It's very like fun, just like classic. It kind of pays homage to like the old
Yeah.
style of stories and
It's
stuff.
great. I think you should check it out. So
I plan on it eventually.
there's a movie coming out for it as well.
Is there?
If you watch the series, then we can all watch the movie in theaters. That'd be fun.
And then I can horribly disappoint you by not watching it.
Yeah, and then I make you go watch the movie anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you watch One Piece Red. You never watched One Piece before that.
I didn't have a say in that.
Well, you don't have a say in this.
This show is really
It was
easy.
a different scenario.
This show would be
Not much
really
different.
easy.
The reason is currently sleeping on the couch.
This show would be really easy to watch without
Oh,
any
yeah.
context.
Yeah.
It's just like spy, assassin. They don't know what's going
Spy,
on.
assassin, child,
Child,
dog.
child knows what's going on. Dog.
But yeah. What else do we got?
I don't have anything else for anime.
Boom over here, just like I got old anime.
Yeah. Well, I watched like the first 2 or 3 episodes of like most of the anime. Well, not most of it. A lot of the anime coming out. I think Rise of the Shield Hero season 3 is gonna be way better than season 2.
Nice.
Like, first of all, there's no giant CGI turtle. That's always a plus. They're not like just instantly making joke characters like frontline and center in the
Mhm.
story, which is even better. And they actually got back to like the roots of what the story's about, which is like this guy teleported to a new world trying to make the best of things and trying to do it like smartly. Like the story so far is all about him trying to build up his own plot of land, his own kingdom, to, like
Mhm.
fight against like the calamities and stuff that are like gonna come. He's part of a hero cast.
Mm-hmm.
There's a shield, there's a spear, there's a
Yeah.
bow, a sword. I think it's sword. Yeah, sword. And like all of them are supposed to fight these calamities that come. And like through season 1 and 2, he gets a plot of land and is like ruling over like the demi-humans because like he's the only one that's not racist apparently in this world.
Mm-hmm.
So like in season 3, apparently he's like going around the world and trying to like buy up the slaves and stuff that got like sold into slavery and stuff. So far the story is really good.
That's cool.
A little cheesy for isekai, but I mean it's good isekai, so I like it.
Nice.
What else do we have? We have Undead Unluck, which is on Hulu, so I don't know how well that's gonna do because apparently shows are on Hulu don't do too well unless it's Bleach.
Yeah.
But that's a really good story. I was actually talking to Ramen Cat today about it, and he seemed mildly disturbed by it. So
Mildly disturbed, moderately interested.
you have Hulu?
No.
I might give you my Hulu so you can watch it. It's really good. But that show, it's basically take like the modern storyline of like people having powers.
Mm-hmm.
And so the story starts with like this girl. She's about to jump off a train bridge, like just into the subway and die. Because apparently whenever somebody touches her, they instantly have the worst luck possible. All their good luck leaves them and they have the worst luck possible. So much so that they usually die. So like this one guy comes up to her and he's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Well, I'm about to end it all." And he's like, "No, you're not," type of thing. So it goes to grab her, grabs her, picks her up, puts her back on the bridge, and he's standing on the edge. And she's like, "Why did you do that? Now you're going to have unluck." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And the bridge just collapses. And as it collapses, he falls, and a train instantly just hits him. And she's like, "Oh God, somebody else died again. Now I really have to end it all." Well, from behind her, this head with blood just spurting from it just comes flying up around the bridge. And the guy just regenerates. Apparently he's called what is undead. So he can just like regenerate. But it's interesting how he does it. Like he explosively regenerates. Meaning he can like just spurt blood out of his arms and legs and kind of like fly around. Like he's got jetpack stuff.
That sounds terrifying.
It is kind of terrifying. Most of the time he is butt ass naked as well. But so he's like, because he's been around for a very long time. Like he has a tattoo, I think kind of gives you an idea how long he's been around. It says 1846 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 2020 in this show.
Mm.
So like he's like, "Wow, I finally found somebody that might be able to kill me because you give me unluck." So he kidnaps her, brings her to his secret lair, And it's like, okay, now we're gonna test this and figure out how much unluck you can give me. Not to spoil the whole show, but certain things happen. There's this organization that's hunting them down.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the first episode, she kisses him because she thinks that's like one of the worst luck she can bestow on somebody.
Yeah.
The end of it, to end the whole entire fight, a freaking meteor falls on the guy because she kisses him. Apparently that's not enough for him because he kidnaps her again and now is running away from the law, basically.
Dang, so it's two characters that just want to die.
Kind of.
They kind of can't die.
One wants to die more than the other. The other one doesn't want to die necessarily. She just thinks she needs to die because she
she'd be
can't
better
interact
off.
with anybody.
Yeah.
The other one has been around for such a long time that he just wants to find something that can kill him.
Just that one thing, just so you know what to stay away from.
He just finds out it's like, you're allergic to peanut butter. It's like, what?
Okay, better.
The way he puts it is he wants to find the best murder possible. The best way to get murdered as all possible. I don't know how much better you can get than a freaking meteor falling on you and just like creating a giant crater.
Yeah,
But-
I'd be like at that point, like, I'm probably not gonna die.
Yeah, he just walks out of it fine. I'm just like, that would have like atomized you. Like it hit you. Like he even says, he's like, well, I've never been hit in the face by a meteor before.
In the
I'm just
face,
like,
but obviously other places.
I don't know, man. But it's interesting.
Show's gonna turn into Moonfall or something.
Kind of. I mean, there's this whole dynamic with like the secret organization hunting them and stuff. So it's interesting. It's kind of like a weird like X-Men type show where you have like mutants and stuff walking around and there's other mutants trying to hunt them down and like
Yeah.
either help them or get rid of them or something like that. So it's pretty good.
Nice.
Besides for that, the other one I watched is a show called Kingdoms of Ruin. Kingdoms of Ruin, which is about modern day fantasy world where in the beginning witches and humans are created. The witches were supposed to like help / oversee the humans. That's what God told them to do.
Mm-hmm.
But then eventually humans get to basically gain too much knowledge for their own good, start creating science. They start going into this era called the era of gears, where they have like satellites, cell phones, guns, stuff like that. And the witches all get executed and like exterminated because the humans think that they're like oppressing them and they all need to go away.
Mm-hmm.
They open up the show with a kid, a witch's apprentice, which is a human, following a witch. Well, the witch gets just basically murdered in the first episode. The witch's apprentice gets locked away for 10 years. And the second episode is about him breaking out for various circumstances and then just going on a murder rampage in the city where he creates a giant replica of his witch teacher and just starts like Godzillaing this entire city and just murdering everybody. And apparently he just wants to murder all humans.
So it's a villain show.
Kind of. Villain
Nice.
being justified, I guess, that one of those stories where you're just like, I'm not sure if I should root for the villains or not.
Yeah.
But that one is more, I'm going to watch to see where it goes, but I'm not too excited about it. It's a pretty like classic, I don't know, kind of like
Classic revenge. story.
classic revenge story. So, I don't know. That's about it for me.
World building sounds cool.
Yeah, the world building is pretty cool. I like the idea of them having like fantasy and sci-fi elements mixed.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's still magic. Technically, the humans use magic, but it's in like
Just in a
technology,
different way.
yeah,
Mhm.
technology ways and stuff like that. So it's interesting.
Cool.
I think we're on to Nerd Dump.
Cue cricket sounds.
I watched John Wick 3, which I mentioned last time I watched the first two John Wicks.
You finished.
I finished John Wick 3.
What did you think of it?
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't people hate so a lot of people said they hated the ending, but I didn't hate it. It was fine.
I thought the ending was good.
Yeah.
I mean, it sets up part 4 pretty well.
It's kind of John Wick's thing that he gets like screwed over by everybody and still
Yeah.
just like kills everybody. He's got the berserk thing going on.
Yeah, doesn't he? Like nobody likes him right now. At the end of
Yeah.
like end of part 3.
And then he's like, "Come on, man." It's funny because they're like, you just declared this as your own property and fought back as a show of force to like prove your worth or whatever. Okay,
Yeah.
the council accepts it." And it's like, John Wick was the reason you had that force.
Yeah.
Somebody should just realize like this guy is the reason.
Turns out he's just the god of the assassins.
He is the Baba Yaga.
Yeah,
Oh.
just like do
Okay,
it once.
One thing, I don't know if I might have missed it or something, is number 3 where he goes out into the desert and meets like the supposed like king of assassins or something like
He
that.
meets the high table like guy that's in charge of the high table or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Is
I-
that a number 3?
Yeah.
I seem to remember that in number 4.
I never
Was-
understood what that like scene
Was
even
that in
was.
3 or 2?
No, that was 3.
There's a scene in 4 where he's in the desert.
But like he like
There's-
cuts off his fingers.
Yeah, he gets his finger cut off and they put like a seal on it and they're like, okay, I feel like that was
What
2.
what was the reason?
Yeah, that
for
was in 2 because he goes to the one guy and he's like, I need to see the high table guy because he has a bounty on himself.
Are you sure? I think it's
Maybe it was 3.
It's
I don't
3 because it's right
They all
after.
blend.
It's,
All right,
it's
let's pause this and just watch the entire John Wick
Yeah.
series.
yeah,
real quick.
it's 3 because it's like right after him, and I think it was
Yeah.
Halle Berry go through and just murder spree dog walk through a bunch of people.
Yeah, it was
Oh yeah, I
and it
forget
was
she's in that
because
movie.
he killed the guy in 2 that he had the bounty on his head and stuff. So then
Okay,
he's like,
but
I
what
want
was
this
the whole point of like him going meeting with a high table guy? Like what?
because he needed to have a way to redeem himself so he wouldn't be hunted for the rest of his life. Because he killed the guy in the what's it called? The
Continent.
Continental. And so that is a capital punishment offense. Like you just get killed
You're
if you do that.
excommunicado.
Yeah.
Whatever they call it.
Right, I know that. It's like I don't know why.
So he was like, I want to talk to the guy so I can be like, what do I have to do to repay it? And then he did. And then they were like, do this. Go kill the guy that was in charge of the Continental. And then he goes to that guy, and that guy's like, I don't want to die. Let's fight against the high table. And John's like, okay.
Oh yeah, because the hotel clerk, the hotel owner's like also in trouble.
Yeah. Because he didn't kill John like,
Right,
immediately.
yeah.
That's right, because of the fact they're both kind of in a way.
Oh yeah, because
friends.
that's also the one with what's his name in it? The older guy. He plays Green Goblin. What's his
That was the
Defoe.
first one.
Wait, Defoe's in the first one?
Yeah, he's in the first one. He gets
I
killed.
thought he was in the third one.
No, he was the first one.
Ah,
He was the only guy that was like friends to John Wick.
Oh, that's right. And that's why
Legit
he dies.
friends, yeah.
Makes sense. So
Only good guy.
yeah.
I mean, only guy in John Wick's side. I don't know if John
Yeah,
Wick's the good guy.
Yeah, John Wick's a good guy.
I mean, John Wick's
I
a bad
mean-
guy, but everyone else is like worse.
Nah, John Wick's a good guy. He's just
Is he the good guy or is he just the guy that we need at this
someone
moment?
killed his puppy. I will justify any man going on an assassin murder spree for the death of his dog.
Okay, I can
Yeah.
justify movie 1.
Movie
But
2.
what about 2 through 4? That seems a little excessive.
Movie 2 was like
anger issues.
they're like, hey, you had this like contract, and he's like, yeah, I don't want to. And then they burn down his house. It's like, how would you not know what this contract means? And he's like, fine, I'll do it. And then he does it, and then he's like, I know I'm framed, and then goes to kill the other guy and kills him in the Continental, which is also a bad idea. He should have just stalked him. But
You know, John Wick's not the smartest man alive.
he's
no.
He's like so confident in his abilities, though. He's just like, whatever.
Yeah,
take
that's
him.
It's basically when you put a character that's just pure instinct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, John Wick 3 was pretty good.
Nice.
Now do I go move on to 4?
Yeah, I'll have to watch
Which
it.
reminds me, I want to watch Nobody again for like the 5th time.
Why don't we watch Sisu instead?
But I own Nobody.
Well, that's true. We could watch Nobody and then Sisu.
Or we watch Sisu, then Nobody, then John Wick.
Chronological order.
Yeah. Because I feel like John Wick
Wait,
is
where
kind of
does,
in like a futuristic
When-
timeline.
When does
Bad Santa, or not bad, Violent Night could be interjected anywhere.
I feel like Violent Night's in between Nobody and John Wick.
Yeah.
Probably.
I need this director to make me a Doom movie.
I can't wait for John Wick 12 when he's like Keanu Reeves is in a wheelchair and it's just guns.
Spinning out, just taking people's
Yeah.
legs out.
Well, we all know in franchises that go way too long, episode 10 is always when they go to space.
Yeah.
So episode 10 is John Wick like in a cyber body in space fighting. Well, okay, that's the Doom movie.
Yeah.
That's John Wick in a power suit fighting demons.
Yep.
And then 12 is when he's old and then in a wheelchair.
Yep.
Obviously, that's how it has to go.
Oh, what else we got for the nerd? dump? I'm
Dang.
kind of ruffling through the garbage pile here.
I was
Can't
hoping
find
Keanu Reeves
anything.
had children and then they could play him as in the future, but he doesn't.
I don't even think. Does he have a wife?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, he's kind of a lonely man.
Yep. He's just chill dude.
He's a nice dude, though.
Yeah,
That's
he
what I
is.
hear.
Until he gets uploaded into a cyber chip and put into your head and tries to overwrite your
Speaking of
programming.
Keanu Reeves, I didn't get a chance to because I got sick and I decided to watch anime instead. But I was gonna start a playthrough of Cyberpunk.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So, question to you, Ramen Cat: what should I build?
I don't know because currently I am trying to build a ninja netrunner.
Okay,
No ranged weapons, all swords, because now you can deflect bullets back into people.
that's sick.
And also you have your throwing knives and the Garado wire or whatever it is.
I kind of feel like I just want to shoot people.
Then just go straight into just the strength and stuff. Shotguns, machine guns, hammers.
Okay, so it's not like a lot of games where you can just have builds that you do. Then
You can. The way that they did it, the way they reworked the skills is actually to reflect more on the characters from Edge Runners.
oh, okay, that makes sense.
Because Edge Runners made Cyberpunk pretty much, and when the
Yeah.
skills didn't meet up with the characters, they're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, everybody wants to be the Rebecca.
Well, a lot of people were like the first skill tree. I don't remember which one it is. I think it's the agility or something. It's like the very last thing is like David's ability to like slow the
Stan thingy.
Yeah, so you can like slow down time and just like zip all around.
Wasn't that an augment that you had to get before?
Yeah, it's a skill now. The way that they did it, they changed a lot of the mechanics. Like armor is no longer clothing. Clothing is all purely cosmetic. It's actually like your cyberware that determines your defense output.
So it sounds like they went away from the RPG like tabletop
made
game
it
and
its
made it
own
more
thing.
into a video game,
Yeah.
which makes sense.
Well, and it's also a play on that thing, kind of like again in like Edge Runners, you've seen characters getting shot up and stuff, but
yeah, and it just
because
bounces off of their
skin and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah. So that I liked it. It's still really buggy. And I don't know if that's just mine or not. So fair warning on that.
I mean, at this point,
If
I
you
just want a good.
if you just pretend it's your cyberware glitching out, you'll be fine.
Well, the reason I'm going to start a Cyberpunk playthrough is I do want to play it
Mm-hmm.
because I do want to actually listen to I want to see the story, but at the same time, I too broke to get Baldur's Gate 3 or Starfield, and I already have Cyberpunk, so I'm like,
I don't. You know what? Honestly, out of all the recent games, neither Baldur's Gate nor Starfield look appealing to me at all.
really?
They look boring. Starfield.
I could see Starfield.
Starfield
looking
looks like a
boring.
snooze fest. Every bit of gameplay I see of it looks so boring and barren.
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate, it looks good, but I still feel like it'd be really boring.
I don't know. I tried playing Divinity Original Sin 2. I did get bored of that pretty quick, but I don't know. I was kind of hoping if I got it, I'd get more engrossed into the story because I kind of know the D&D world, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'll play Cyberpunk and just stay broke for a while.
I did start playing, and a lot of people probably won't know what it is because it's a newer. I think it was made in 2020. A video game called
My dude, that was 3 years ago.
newer. Like there's a second game coming out, but it's a throwback to the old like shooter games like Duke Nukem and Blood and stuff. It's called Ion Fury.
Huh.
It's basically a run and gun cyberpunk type thing, but like with old retro graphics.
Oh, that's cool.
Incredibly violent, a lot of pop culture references and stuff. It's a game that doesn't take itself too seriously, just like
Gotcha.
most of those kind of games never did.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's pretty cool. It's fun. I mean, if you like retro games, I'd suggest. I plan on getting the second one when it finally comes out. I actually mainly got it because I found out that there is a form of software that you can build games and build in the build engine, which is like from the 90s.
Okay.
But I needed a game to pull assets from, like
Oh.
information and stuff. So I bought it to grab information from to play around with to try to
Wait,
make
don't you have
something.
enough old retro games to do that with?
They're all on Steam instead of Steam. You
Oh.
can't access into like the
Yeah.
files where GOG allows you to.
Yeah,
So
'cause
if you
it's
ever
non-DRM stuff. Yeah.
right, so if you ever want to mod something or anything like that, just go through GOG. And
Yeah, that makes
so you're
sense.
good to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Okay.
my new game. I completely forgot over summertime due to many incidents in life that Lies of P came out.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised you forgot about that.
Yeah.
It kind of came into like mixed reviews.
Well, they didn't ever give a solid set release date. They're like sometime in summer.
Yeah,
Oh,
it actually came out like pretty well in the fall.
yeah, it was
What?
September, I think, or late August.
Guess that is summer still. We're not even in fall yet, are we?
Yeah, we are.
Are
Yeah.
we?
So yeah, it was a good. It's a good game so far.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the Spider-Man game.
It
I don't know
looks
when I'll
good.
get it.
Another one.
2.
Yeah,
Another Spider-Man.
So there's
game?
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
There's Spider-Man Miles Morales,
which is a
Spider-Man.
spin-off. It doesn't really count.
It's kind of like what, like a large DLC, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. It the fighting, like all the combat and everything is like exactly the same. It's just the abilities that you have as
And the
Miles.
modding capability when I
It's-
see Shrek swinging through the city.
No, that's when they ported Spider-Man 1 to the PC.
It's
Oh.
kind of cool because Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man game was just your Peter Parker. You go through the story, you get introduced to all the Spider-Man stuff in
Yeah.
their version of it. And then the next game is Miles, and you play as Miles the whole time. And you go on a separate small adventure while Peter is off somewhere with MJ. And then the next game is going to be both, and you get to like switch between characters back and forth. So, which is kinda
And they
cool.
also have the symbiote suit, which looks
Yeah.
kind of interesting to play with.
It does, and
So are they making kind of Miles like a sidekick or something? Or,
Kinda,
like,
yeah.
Partner.
In
Yeah.
the comics, he's kind of turned into that
Oh,
in
really?
small ways.
I thought Miles
usually-
was like a separate like.
usually it was
Universe.
Spider-Man died and then Miles took over. But in this one, they're both at the hanging
In
out
some
at the same
stories,
time.
they've also retconned it as well, where Miles is just in the mainline stories sometimes.
Okay.
This Spider-Man is cool too because the first game you start out, he's been Spider-Man for like 7 years or something.
Mhm.
So it's not like you're new to it. It's like he knows what to do.
Yeah.
He's fought a bunch of people before. It's not like
It
like
is
trying to figure
interesting
it out.
because, like, the Spider-Man storyline, you know, like you always hear like the Bat family. There's
Mhm.
like a bunch of Batman variants. Like
Mhm.
there's like Batwoman, like Nighthawk, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's kind of turned into that, where there's
Yeah.
the Spider-Man family. Like
Okay.
you have like there's a clone of Spider-Man. There's like several different Spider-Women. There's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think Batman and Spider-Man are the biggest superheroes, most
somehow,
popular.
yeah. That and then I think it's like Captain
Superman's
America,
probably up there.
Superman.
Iron Man's big just because of the movies.
Yeah, just Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. is big.
Because nobody really liked his character beforehand.
Yeah, he was like kind of a not super popular.
Yeah. Well, I think the silence indicates that maybe we are done for the day.
I watched Loki.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Is it good
It is good. I think it's the only good Marvel show.
at this point?
Yep.
Probably. I mean, I started seeing the trailers for the new Marvel movie that's coming out.
Yeah.
Was it
Oh,
called
it's Marvels. Yeah.
It's about Captain America, or
Cap-
not Captain America. Captain
Old Captain America, like
flying through space.
the version when
No.
he's gone through time, so he's like 80
Captain
years old.
Marvel, or Carol Danvers, Miss Marvel, which they did a series on. She's not even been in a movie. yet.
Yeah.
And then who the heck is the
That
third one?
was her co-pilot
Marvel or
friend,
whatever it is.
whatever.
No, Marvel's dead.
She was
Oh yeah, because
also
that was a character from like the 50s or something, wasn't it?
That
Like,
was
in
the
story.
first Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
But in the movies, he dies giving Captain Marvel powers, if I remember right, or
Oh,
something like
okay.
that.
Yeah, that's how the comics are too.
I don't remember.
But there's another girl, lady, that's
She was in WandaVision. That's where she got her powers.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
She got warped through Wanda's thing.
Yeah.
Wanda's character sucks. They did her so bad.
Yeah, they did. But okay, so I'll try watching Loki. I finished Ahsoka.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
It was really good.
Yeah, I liked it. So,
I liked how they ended it.
I
find-
spoilers that they did zombie troopers.
they did, yeah.
They did, and it was amazing.
It was cool. I was waiting
Although a
for
lot
it.
of people wanted like the what is it, the
Death Troopers.
Death Troopers, or what's the name of the book series?
Oh, Red Harvest.
See the Red Harvest, the one where it's like the ship.
Death Troopers.
Oh, is it? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, if you have zombies now,
It's
it might be
kinda-
later.
Well, okay, so Dave Filoni, the one thing I don't like that Dave Filoni did is he took aspects of the expanded universe
Mm-hmm.
and warped it and changed it and put it in Clone Wars.
Oh, okay.
So now
Yeah.
canonically, anything that's zombie has to be related to Dathomir for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So now
instead
you
of, like-
can't just have
they
a-
kind of do that except for the like brain invaders thing.
That's different.
with the
That's
That's
also
like
kind
a
of
hive mind.
Yeah.
with the with the original Death Troopers thing, wasn't that like with like Sith alchemy or something?
That was Sith alchemy, but that was an infected.
Yeah, it was like
Essential,
a disease,
like,
wasn't
It was an infected, I think, plant
Hmm.
that this Star Destroyer was researching, and it got loose on the ship, and then literally Han Solo and Chewbacca just randomly get called out to investigate it, and now they're fighting zombies on a starship. Like that's how the whole book goes.
I love how it's like they interject stuff in that stories, and it's like when you see characters again in movies, like, nope, not scarred by anything, all these horrible things I've seen.
Yeah, exactly.
The main problem I think with a lot of the Star Wars shows coming out right now is that they're like they end with like, why don't you check out the movie that's gonna come out to complete the story?
Yeah.
Like I feel like one of the reason Andor was so loved is because it just told a complete story.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna get a season 2 and it's like, oh cool, but it's like it didn't need it. It told a complete story and it was really entertaining.
Season 2, Death Star pulls up to planet, zap, the end.
All these like Mando and stuff always ends with like, and then this happens. Tune in next time.
That's kind of what I'm not excited about with Ahsoka. Like they ended on a huge cliffhanger.
yeah.
And I'm
I
just,
thought I had heard that Dave Filoni got the green light for like a movie.
He
or
does.
and
and
I
I'm-
heard the opposite, that it was just going to be a mini series, and that's
It's supposed to. He got this miniseries, and then they're doing a movie that's set in this time period, which
So they're
has to
doing
be
a
the
Ahsoka
Thrawn.
movie.
They have to do a Thrawn movie, is what I'm guessing. Because
I'm excited for a Thrawn movie.
because that would be pretty cool.
Except for you're going to get a bunch of characters that you had to watch the TV shows to know
Yeah.
anything about.
Well, good thing I wasted the last 5 years of my life watching the TV shows. So
Yeah,
And
it
I
is-
can be one of the happy
unless-
geeks in the movie.
Unless he writes it to where, yeah, if you've watched the shows, you know the characters. Otherwise, maybe have it where you can kind of relearn them a little
I did
bit.
hear a interesting take from somebody that was like watching Ahsoka was like watching A New Hope. Because it's like you don't really know what's going on. You're just thrown into this world and you're just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like
Yeah,
that kind
kind
of
of.
makes sense. So I guess you probably can just watch it and not be like super confused.
I mean, Star Wars has always been
Well-
kind of like giant spaceship, bad dude with a light
Yeah.
sword.
Put it together.
Yeah,
like like Darth Maul shows up out of nowhere. It's not like we knew anything about him before, and he's
Yeah.
just cool.
And that does work. I mean, I haven't watched Ahsoka, but I've been seeing a lot of stuff about it. I do plan on watching it, but I also plan on eventually watching Rebels. I'll probably watch Ahsoka then Rebels
Mm.
because I'm weird like that.
yeah. I mean, you
But
can watch it vice versa.
That
It's not gonna
is
be
a
huge
good
deal.
way to do it, of like just throwing people in, because the problem is anymore people expect you to just fully explain every little detail
Yeah.
between
Yeah.
everything. That doesn't leave any room of like, why are these characters bickering, what's wrong with these two, why do these two are close, you know?
I think I saw a post, I think on Reddit the other day, and like it's kind of getting concerning. So, like, the two giant geekdoms nowadays is Star Wars and Marvel, right?
Yeah.
It's getting concerning on the amount of content that both of them have. If we're not even
Yeah.
counting books and comics or video games, if you look at, there's over 25 movies for Marvel.
Yeah. Marvel's
There's-
ridiculous.
There's about 11 of them for Star Wars. Then each of them have close to, I think Marvel now is getting upwards of 10 TV series.
Yeah.
And then Star Wars, I guess if you count the animated ones, you have about 10 of those.
Yeah.
People are calculating the time to watch it is literally in the years now. If you calculate having a
Well, yeah, and
full-time
they-
job and just watching it in the evenings at like a couple hours a day,
Yeah, it's
It's
And
ridiculous.
years.
the problem is they don't set them up to where they can be individually watched.
yeah.
I feel like they need to do kind of what like DC is doing right now with like James Gunn's thing, where he's like, these are what's gonna connect. These are their own thing. You can watch them separately. Like, just make it clear of like, also have big things and then smaller things. Like,
And I
Well,
kind
and
of,
like
felt
the-
like
I kind of feel like the age of having to connect everything.
Well, the
needs
thing,
to
like
stop.
what
Yeah.
the post was arguing is like, especially with Marvel's getting to be this behemoth that we literally have almost multiple generations of people that are going to be born after like Avengers have come out,
mm-hmm.
to the point where like if you told somebody like to understand Marvel, you have to start in 2008 with Iron Man.
Well,
Yeah.
they're trying to be like the comic books, except for here's the thing: comic book runs end and then reboot.
Also, you can read a whole comic book line in like 2 hours if you really wanted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. The only reason they were around, a line would be around for several years is because of the fact it takes time to write, illustrate,
Yeah.
do all that. I mean, not saying that it doesn't take a ton of work for movies, but when you make a super company that just churns out,
Yeah. And like I guess the thing the poster was saying is like Marvel, especially just Disney in general, is like gonna kill these big franchises
Yeah.
because there's gonna be put to a point. Marvel's basically to the point where the new generation of people is not gonna watch Marvel.
No,
Especially
and-
because it starts to suck.
and that's why that's why
Like nobody wants to
usually-
watch Marvel.
Like, it's just, yeah, it's
Well, that's oh, sorry, go
too
ahead.
much where it's not interesting anymore. It's like too much history that they can't do anything interesting without upsetting too many people,
Yeah.
so they just give up.
That's also though why you see with like not counting like Disney movies and stuff, why certain movies you see a new version of them every decade or so is because marketing wise or just in general, if you want to keep a franchise or something alive, you have to reset it a little bit so that the newer generation gets what's going on. with
yeah,
Yeah.
a reboot or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which makes sense. Like Transformers had that multiple generations of releases. You had original Gen 1
and
Transformers.
then they rebooted it because they're like, oh, okay, well, people are now old enough now. It's like they can like these don't really vibe with like the newer generation.
Yeah, exactly.
so-
I like that there's stuff like Star Wars where like everything connects, so you can just
Yeah.
like watch and read everything and like piece together everything. But when it becomes like Mando season 2 and then Boba Fett had random Mando episodes in it, and then season 3 like ignored what happened in season 2 because you had to watch Boba Fett, then it's like, this is stupid. That
Yeah.
was that was one of the worst decisions they've ever made.
Yeah, like having the ending of the Boba Fett season being basically Mandalorian season 2.5
Yeah.
was insane.
They could have had Mando in it without Grogu.
yeah,
and it
but
would've
why
been
did we have to
fine.
have this whole sub
We had to, for some reason, they had to throw him back into it and then bring them both into it when they could have just had Mando. Like, it would have fit fine.
Yeah.
And then do the Grogu thing.
It would have
in
fit really
season
well
3.
because it would have been a new bounty hunter
yeah,
helping defeat an old bounty hunter of Cad Bane.
Plus,
From what-
plus also he kind of owed him too.
Yeah.
yeah. The rumor was that they forced them to do that for merchandise and crap, which
I wouldn't be
kind of makes
surprised.
sense because it's such a stupid decision. I can't imagine
Yeah.
any creative person deciding to do that because it is really, really dumb.
It is. I don't get it.
Season 3 could have so easily been without Grogu.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, Grogu meets back up with them. Like, that could have been the big thing at the end.
Yeah.
That would
And
have.
then just Mando season 3 just pick up immediately from right there.
Yeah, then, well, you do all of season 3 without Grogu. then you end it. Grogu meets up with him again, and then season 4 continues their adventures together. It's like
It is getting a
Fourth
little
season, or
intense.
Are they on the 3rd season of Mando?
they just finished the 3rd season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Third
But it's
season
like
ended with.
we were talking about them referencing different things. Like I watched all of Ahsoka,
Mhm.
and apparently I didn't know that because I dropped Mando season 3.
Yeah.
'Cause I got bored of it. They reference Mando season 3 in Ahsoka,
Yeah, they
and I'm
do.
just like, what the frick is going on? I don't understand.
And then
So now I have to go watch Mando season 3.
Ezra Bridger
Against
was
my will,
so
if I
good
know.
in in
Ezra was
Ahsoka.
amazing.
He was the best. He was the only character that felt exactly like the character in the TV show,
Yes.
where he's just like, I don't need my lightsaber. The Force is my ally, and then just
Immediately picks up blaster.
blaster. He's great.
The whole fight with Ahsoka versus the Night Witch, that was really
Yeah,
fun. That was cool. But yeah,
very cool.
Did they ever explain why they were on another system?
Yeah, they just kind of teleported there. Anyways, Loki is good because it's more than 6 freaking episodes or 8 episodes.
Yeah. is it a full 12 season?
Yeah, because the first
Nice.
season was 12 episodes. The second season's also going to be 12 episodes, I
Sweet.
assume. And it
I'll
just makes
watch
it
it.
so
I-
much better.
I enjoyed Loki season 1. So.
Yeah, it's actually like a good show. It's like interesting things are happening the whole like time, and Loki's just a interesting character.
Yeah.
I really like the detective guy that's with him. He's great.
Oh, was his name Mobius?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because there's like this weird back and forth thing of like they're on this everything's melting down and like the world is burning, and they're also kind of like detective beat cops that are
Yeah.
just kind of chilling
It
sometimes.
is cool.
Like there's this scene where they're just eating pie, and it's like meanwhile there is an actual like big meltdown going on that could destroy this like whole place. It's a good show though.
I have to pick it
It's-
up
It's
and
actually
see.
enjoyable. It feels kind of like Andor, where it feels purposeful instead
Yeah.
of just we're gonna throw cool things because we think it looks cool.
Nostalgia,
Yeah.
new stuff. Here we go.
And this person's gonna say something quirky, and you're
Yeah.
gonna like them.
Oh,
That's all I
cool.
got. It
All
doesn't
right.
suck.
That's good. Nowadays, if it doesn't suck, it's better than
Like
I guess
most
nothing.
shows should just not suck, and then some of them be good. But too many
Yes.
are like awful or just like
Well, that's kind of how I feel about the overall anime season this time around. It's like it doesn't suck.
yeah,
It's not amazing. There's a couple outstanding shows, but it doesn't,
Doesn't
suck.
suck,
So far.
yeah.
Talking about Zom 100 was amazing. It was cut down in its prime.
It literally was. But
yeah. That is a show that was like amazing, whereas like
That show just
other shows
brought
just
joy.
yeah.
didn't suck.
All right. Well, I think that's where we're gonna end it for tonight. So hopefully you
All
enjoyed
right.
it. What?
We can edit that out.
No, it's fine.
All right, if we're done, then I guess if you like this podcast, like, subscribe. I don't know, glue googly eyes to it. Boom, where can they find us? Isn't it the Facebook, the Twit?
We're not on Facebook.
No.
And
Oh,
we're
oh yeah.
barely
yeah.
even on Twitter.
We're barely on Twit.
You know, if you want to contact
YouTube.
us, leave a comment on YouTube or email us.
Yeah.
Because I don't even like getting on Twitter anymore.
Twitter isn't
Yeah.
even Twitter anymore.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's x.com.
Okay, so it's not the Twit, it's the twat.
I might as well I might as well be on the hub instead.
Yeah.
It sounds more reputable.
Either way, give us a like or a thumbs up or whatever you young people do anymore. I don't know.
Spin your phone and hit the
Yeah,
share
spin the
button.
phone, throw it against the wall, get a new one.
Bottom
Just
flip it.
like, leave comments, post your entire life story on there. I don't know. We're bored. We'll listen.
Yeah.
Anyways, good night, people.
All right. See you all later.